Hey everybody, it's Jason from Parallel Reality back with you here today to go over just an article. I saw the headline and was like, I gotta find out what this is about. It's from Red State, dated April 26th. As San Francisco drops its boycott of red states because it cost them even more money. Oh, let's see what happened here, because I was about to go into the history myself, but I think the article will probably end up explaining it better than me. So here we go. It says the politicians of California collectively decided that if Republican-leaning states were going to pass laws they didn't like, that they would not allow any sort of state or local money to be spent in those states. Yeah, there's the summary I was thinking of, so pretty much that. I couldn't remember, though, if it was California's, like the whole state, or just San Francisco, which is why I didn't say anything, but let's keep going. So it was a pretty significant move, considering that a lot of events, politicians and God, I need to read better. I'm going to start that sentence over. It says it was a pretty significant move, considering that a lot of events politicians and government employees travel to are out of state in various states, depending on the topic of the event. That was a lot better said. It says, no, it's not like they actually intended to follow that law. Governor Gavin Newsom has been violating the state's version of that law for a while now. Of course he has, because he just doesn't care. It says, but the city of San Francisco had two solutions for dealing with the red state menace. The first was a ban on doing business with those states. The second was banning city-funded travel to them. And the boycott has been nothing short of a disaster. It says, okay, so there's the city rule from another writer from the site. Let's see here. It says the report that they did came out. It says 12 is the policy called Chapter 12X. Okay, so 12X's policy impacts are not clear. The CAO was not able to find concrete evidence suggesting 12X has influenced other states' economies or LGBTQ, reproductive, or voting rights. Yeah, that's real shitty of California to be like, hey, you need to do what we want, otherwise we're going to boycott you. That's basically what that is. This 12X has created additional administrative burden for city staff and vendors and unintended consequences for San Francisco citizens, such as limiting enrichment and developmental opportunities. And yeah, that's all San Francisco needs right now is limited stuff. You guys are barely functioning as a city right now. You're on the verge of being a failed city, if not outright being a failed city. It continues, third bullet says, few, if any, other jurisdictions implement travel or contracting bans as expansive as the cities. It says potential alternatives to 12X range from administrative revisions of the existing legislation to repealing the entirety of 12X. So good job. So they made a law that's just going to basically go out. It says more evidence is now out that San Francisco did indeed screw itself in this policy decision to the point where the city has struck it down in an attempt to stop slipping on banana peels over and over again. So then it's got embedded here. It says the board voted 7-4 to repeal a 2016 law that prohibited city employees from traveling to or doing business with companies in states that passed conservative laws. God forbid people think differently. As the Board of Supervisors first enacted the law in an effort to punish states that had enacted what it viewed as restrictions on LGBT rights after the Supreme Court's decision in Obergefell versus Hodges legalized same-sex marriage nationwide. Since 2015, the board has amended the law to include states that, in its view, had limited voting rights and abortion access. Okay, so none of them do. I mean, you could say abortion access, but I mean, I turn that around and say baby killing access. Okay, and there's no state that has just flat out you cannot do this here under any circumstances whatsoever. So yeah, there's that. Says it's not achieving the goal we want to achieve, said Supervisor Raphael Mandelman, the sponsor of the legislation to repeal the boycott. It is making our government less efficient. Oh gee, would you look at that? A leftist government that's less efficient by making stupid rules. Never saw that one coming. There's a one-year period between mid-21 and mid-2022 saw waivers for contracts and purchase orders totaling $791 million. Meanwhile, the budget and legislative analysts also found that the city had spent nearly $475,000 in staffing expenses to carry out the boycott. Oh, nice. You want to donate that money to me? I do accept donations. Anyway, the San Francisco appears to have discovered that, prior to the previous and entirely egotistical assumptions, no state changes laws in response to this government boycott. We're going to force you to change your rules. And if you don't, we're going to boycott you. And basically everybody was like, okay. And then nothing happened. And then San Francisco was like, wait a minute. So good job, guys. Says it would seem lawmakers in red states feel more beholden to their constituents and the political whims of San Francisco's municipal leaders. Go figure. Yeah, who would have thought that? As with more Democratic Party policies that they would care to admit, the city rule also disproportionately hurt the academic prospects of black students. Oh, wow. As it was responsible for adding more red tape for a program that paid for teens to visit historically black colleges and universities, as many HBCUs are located in banned states. Yeah, they're mainly in, like, the South. So, yeah. Again, this is called foresight, of which it seems like the people who came up with this boycott did not have any. And last sentence, or last two sentences, says, it's good that San Francisco sees the need to try and save money where it can. After all, they still have massive reparations they want to pay. Yeah, well, that's probably what they're doing it for, but that's a whole nother argument. Anyway, what did you guys think about this? It's kind of funny. I would think that, you have an extremely leftist city that made a policy that, oh, look, it's completely backfiring on them, and nobody changed their mind based on what this one city had to say about anything. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.